The Will You Grow Show goes live Sundays 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern. To receive notifications, click the subscribe button beneath this video, or visit YouTube's Will You Grow channel to see more shows and videos. And now, here's Will You founder Angelique Medow with this week's Will You Grow Show.
Welcome to the Will You Grow Show. How are you? I'm Angelique, and I'm here to ignite your inner courage to release yourself from limitations. I'm the founder of Will You and WillYouGrow.com, an inspirational multimedia company that provides personal growth and joy through education, conversations, and adventures like the one that you see here today. We're obviously not in the studio. We are here in Wisconsin. We're in Pickerel, Wisconsin at Arbutus Lake. This is a childhood favorite place for me. I'm here on tour and meeting with folks talking about personal growth through nature over the past 15 weeks. So if you missed any of that series, you can see that on the YouTube channel and just scroll back through any of the past 15 shows about learning how to grow personally through your adventures in nature. We are about to start a new series. Today is the first of an introduction to a series of 15 shows about personal growth through journaling. So why personal growth through journaling, and what if you're not interested in journaling? Well, first of all, I hope that you'll be willing to explore it at least a little bit, because there might be some things about journaling that you're just not familiar with that could actually be beneficial to you. Even if you just want to learn a few statistics and understand how it works, that's something. Also, if you're not interested in actually writing, you can do this process just through introspection, through looking within, through acknowledging things as you move along through life. So as long as you keep your awareness and you put your learning into place, you're still growing whether you're writing in a journal about it or not. So I wanted to let you know that this series here, when we've been in Wisconsin, has been such a beautiful, beautiful time. We're here at the end of summer. It's fall now. We just had our very first frost last night. Took a nice little walk out in nature. Yes. So I am having you here with me in spirit, even if you are not here in the physical present, like the rest of the folks that I've been meeting with while here in Wisconsin. So if you're not familiar, I wrote some books and I also created some journals, which I'd like to introduce to you and express to you why I find journaling important and how it could benefit you as it has benefited me. So this is the journal that I choose for myself. It's one of my 11 styles of journals, and I'm sharing these with you because they've been a joy for me. Whether or not you choose to purchase one of my journals is completely up to you, but for me, it's been a joy to be able to create them, and if they bring you any pleasure and joy and satisfaction from learning within, then I would love for you to have one. So these hardcover journals with the 11 different styles, whichever ones that might suit you, are almost 200 pages, so you have plenty of room to be able to write your thoughts and feelings inside. They have charcoal lines on cream paper that's all recycled. And they have the heart key, which is my logo at the top, because the heart is the key to knowing more about thyself. We have also lots of quotes in the back which remind us why journaling is important and how we could benefit from journaling. If you're interested in knowing the research behind journaling and the scientific benefits that it can have on you and your life, here's some information that you might find interesting. Natalie Goldberg, Zen practitioner and world-renowned writing teacher, has said, quote, "Whether we keep a journal or write as meditation, what's important is that we have a relationship with our mind," unquote. Positive Psychology listed, quote, "Journaling requires the application of our analytical, rational left side of the brain. While our left hemisphere is occupied, our right hemisphere, the creative, touchy-feely side, is given the freedom to wander and play. This allows creativity to flourish and expand, while providing cathartic feelings of well-being. Journaling uplifts and empowers us to understand our complex feelings and find humor in life," unquote. Science has also researched to show that journaling can calm and clear our mind. It can also release pent-up feelings and stress. Science also shows that journaling can release negative thoughts. Science also shows that journaling can help us explore our experiences and explore our idea of success and what success means to us. Science also shows that journaling can enhance self-awareness and teach about triggers. It can also help us track our progress. That research was done by Starr in 2018. Science goes on to show that journaling can reduce anxiety. And last but not finally, science and research also shows that journaling can help us manage stress and anxiety while enhancing engagement and meaning in life. That research was done by Finchbaugh in 2012. So what's the point? What's the point of journaling? You know, there are lots of statistics out there. And statistics are important to help validate or give authority to reasons why something is helpful. But if you can't feel it in here and it doesn't actually change your life, why do it, right? Well, I certainly wouldn't. The reason why I'm talking with you about journaling is because it's been so helpful for me. It's a process to look within, to write down thoughts and feelings on paper, explore, and really know what it is that's going on inside of this one. Because I can look back on it, and it gives me a chance to reflect and gain clarity. And once we learn how to be able to write without thinking about it, without analyzing it, without judging it, without criticizing it, without resisting it, without fearing it and what's in here, there is a sense of freedom that comes along with that I really can't even put words onto. It's beyond words. It's a joy and freedom that I would not want to live without, and I'd love to share with you. Because a life that feels like we're captive to our job or our relationship or our body or situation does not feel fun. It feels hard. And this journaling process allows us to be freed of that. It allows us to unlock the treasures and the passions that are inside of us, not just sexual passions, but passion and verve for life. Our desire to live, our willingness to live, our interest in living. Can light that up. Even just for the simple fact that we're showing ourselves that we're curious about who we are. That means something. Because attention is the greatest source of affection and energy. Attention, our full 100% awareness on anything. You could use your own example here. Think of a time when someone you know and appreciated or respected or loved gave you 100% of their attention. How does that feel? To me, it feels like this, and the radiant sunshine that is beaming down upon me today. Even though it's only about 40 degrees, the sunshine, the attention, the focus of the sun on me feels fantastic. It feels seen. It feels warm. It feels known. I have to exist and be here and be worthy of receiving the sunlight in order to actually receive it. It's a gift. So when we can allow our attention, instead of just going outward to work, to others, to tasks, when we can turn that attention inward and learn more about this one, we instantly feel cared for. We feel validated. There will be resistance that comes up at times, but I can teach you how to walk through that so that you don't allow resistance or fear or criticism or discouragement that you hear inside of this head of ours to stop you. to squelch your curiosity. So this introduction to journaling is also a taste of what it would be like to take a deep dive into journaling on your own. Now that can seem frightening to some folks because maybe you've never looked within before. Maybe people told you that what's inside of you isn't worthy and it's hard to look within because you don't believe that you're worth looking into. These things hold us back. These things affect our daily life, how we treat ourselves and how we treat other people. And I can walk you through this. The next 15 weeks, we're going to be talking about different topics that happen in life. And we'll use my life as an example so that you can see if any of these things are relatable to you. And then I'm going to journal about them. And I'll share with you what it is I discover in my process. This isn't canned. This isn't a preconceived speech that I've made for you, and none of them will be. I simply will be experiencing my life the way that I'd encourage you to do it, and then writing about it in the journal, not just like a diary of facts of this and this and this and this happened, but how I think and how I feel about the experience of life as an observer of it. That helps to give me perspective, and you might find the same, that if instead of just focusing on the facts, if you can turn the attention inward and notice what is happening inside of this one while I'm experiencing my outside life. That's where the candy store is, so to speak. Okay. Out here, this is the carnival. This is the carnival. This is where stuff happens. But inside of here, this is the recipe for how you feel about your entire life. And the good news is you can reorganize your ingredients here to make your life more tasty, more joyful, more fun. And also, beyond just adding all those exciting items that feel like fireworks, tasty, pleasurable, fun, joy, you can also pay attention to those spots that hurt. That doesn't mean dwelling in negativity. There's a big difference. Paying attention to places that hurt allows them to heal. Paying attention, as I said, through my experience and through the experience of masters, is the source of healing. That is the God within. That is the life force. That is the Holy Spirit. By allowing the wounds, the hurts that we have, to be bathed in that attention, things shift. It's like that scientific experiment where they put the slide underneath of our genetics, underneath a microscope, and we looked at it, and the scientists studied and saw that the items that were in the slide react differently when someone is looking at it. So our attention to something affects it. Our attention has the power to heal. It also has the power to harm. But learning how to heal the wounds, help, solve, makes it sound like there's something that has to be fixed, but just allowing that part of us that has been wounded, hurt in the past, the space, the attention, the care, so that it can shift, is something that only we can do. Someone else can pay attention to us, but if we're not allowing them to see that part of us, and they don't have the capability to look at us and pay attention to us with complete compassion and unconditional love without judgment, what they're looking at can shift for a more difficult, more hurtful experience for us. So through journaling, through reflecting within and writing down these thoughts and feelings in our journals, we can learn the way to heal and help and love and care for ourselves every single day. Now, we don't have to write every day. We don't have to look at this as some big ominous commitment that we have to make, like, oh gosh, one more thing I have to do, journaling. No, this isn't something you have to do. This is recognizing that it's important and that it's going to be helpful and that it's going to provide you with things that are going to help your life to be better and help your soul to be able to be more alive and to be able to experience more of what life has to offer without fear. You can't put a dollar figure on that. And guess what? You can do this for free. You think I give my time to do this because I think it's not worthwhile? What a waste that would be. I give my precious life, attention, and energy to you out of love. And yeah, sometimes that makes me cry. I choose to spend a significant portion of my life to share this with you. Not to try to get you to buy something. Not to try to make you do something or tell you that you're wrong. So, if you're thinking all those things, look within a little bit. Because I'm coming to you from a place of love for who it is you are in your soul. And I want that part of you to be able to experience more love, experience more joy, experience more fun, experience passion. Because it's good over here. Okay? Doesn't mean I don't have hard times, but I have tools to effectively deal with it without always having to grab for alcohol or medication or food or sex or gambling or other psychologists. Now, all those things can be great and fun, but when we have to use them as a crutch just to get by in life, what a shame. Then we really can't even enjoy that part. We're just getting a little pleasure for a while, a band-aid on the wound that's still there festering underneath it all. So that's probably enough said about my personal reasoning for why I'm coming to you with this very important course and show today about personal growth through journaling. I am going to create a course that's a deep dive into this, an online course that I'm going to have available to you as soon as I finish it. It'll all be recorded here in Wisconsin, in the beauty of nature. I'll show you some of the time that I've spent on the water. I'll show you some of the time that I've spent in walks in the backwoods. Gosh, it's really beautiful here. Not my favorite place in the middle of winter, but summer and fall, spring, very, very beautiful. So you can allow yourself to experience what it's like here in northern Wisconsin while I walk with you through the process of journaling. So if you haven't already bought yourself a journal, get one. Whether it's one that you can get from any store around, or you can also get one of my 11 different styles of journals. These journals are available at willyougrow.com, and also you can find them in the description box. As you see in the background here, we've got some apples. And I have those here because I bought them partly for me to eat and cook, and partly as a theme for the show. Because apples are the fruits of a long labor of love that the tree goes through. Apples don't happen the first year. Now, it may not take a whole year for you to start to see the fruits of your labor of journaling, but journaling is a process. And fall, the time when we harvest apples, is the very best time to start looking inward. Just like the rest of nature, we are, this physical body, nature. We go back to it, this body of ours, after our soul leaves the body. So being part of nature, just like the trees that produce these apples, our energy naturally would come inward during the time of autumn, fall, which is what we are in now. We can resist that and pretend that it's summer all year round, which in some parts of the world it is. But there's still a time and a season in our life where it's best for us to look inward. Why fight the seasons? It just makes our life a whole lot easier if we recognize what season we're in personally, fall season, and then use that time to our benefit. Use the energies of nature, use the energies of life to help us look inward. One thing that you can do to take your first step in personal growth through journaling, if you're ready, is to let yourself know that you're open to it. You can let yourself know that you're open to it by, one, allowing yourself to be curious. So I ask you, if you're ready, to say this affirmation with me today. I allow myself to be curious. Now, it doesn't matter about what, because if you're curious about life outside of you and how the apples are made, or if you're curious about life inside of you and how this one is made, it's really all the same thing. It's the same process. So curiosity is going to be the key for you to be able to learn and grow through journaling. And the second affirmation that I'd like you to say with me today, if you're ready to open up some to journaling, is to say, I am willing to look within. Now, if you have any resistance inside of you that says, I'm not willing to look within, you could take a half step there and say a different affirmation. You could say, I'm willing to be open to the idea of looking within. So we'll start by saying that one out loud, and then we'll say the one previous. Ready? I am willing to be open to the idea of looking within. That's number 2. And number 2A, you ready? Here we go. I am willing to look within. Now, this is a fabulous mantra. This is a fabulous thing to say to ourselves regularly, to make change within, to bring our awareness to the fact that this is true and let our body know that this is what we want. That's what a mantra is. So if you know that you're really ready, write this down somewhere. If you're really ready, write it in your journal. I am willing to look within. And that you're curious. You could say this to yourself as often as possible, as often as you can think about it. And you'll find that you do become more of what it is that you say you are. You're shifting yourself with the medicine of words, because words are medicine. Words are spelled, right? Spelled. S-P-E-L-L-E-D. They're spelled, they're cast. They're a casting spell. Words can be healing when we write them and when we speak them. So let's use our words to heal ourselves and heal the world, to send out more love to this one and everything around us. To bring in a little of the personal growth through nature into our very first show here about personal growth through journaling, I noticed when I was getting ready to start recording this show that there were frogs around me. Beautiful little frogs. Here's a picture and a little video of the one that was dancing around in front of me. Isn't it cute? Well, it's important to note as we reflect back on personal growth through nature that the animals who present themselves to us are here for a reason. Each animal, whether it's through Native American research and way of life, or other folks like shamans, people who recognize that nature speaks to us through the life force that it is, we all note that the animals have messages for us. The Native Americans made it a part of their life process to read the signs of nature so that we could better know what it is that life's trying to tell us. Because it's sending guidance and care and support, warnings, all sorts of things to us through the nature that surrounds us. So as I looked at the frog, of course I thought, oh, of course, the frog. Because the metaphysical meaning of the frog is transformation. Transformation. And journaling, the whole point of it is to enjoy connecting with ourselves. And also to transform what's within here. To transform this soul, and in the process also transforming the life of who we are, physically, mentally, emotionally, and the outward experience of our life. So one of the first things you could do if you're ready to take this journaling to the next level for yourself, I encourage you to take your journal, whichever type you have, and your favorite pen, and sit down for 10 minutes. And I'd like for you to reflect on the frog and what you can learn from the frog, and how that lesson of the frog could apply to you in your life. You're welcome to do that now if you wish, or you can come back to this video and you could play this later when you have time. But just for the next minute, I'm going to read to you some information about the frog and its metaphysical meaning in life. Something for you to think on before you start to write. Historically, Aztecs saw the frog as a physical representation of the Earth Mother Goddess, a deity of death and rebirth. In sculptures, the frog symbol is an emblem of the embryo and an analogy to birth, creation, and a new beginning. For the Native Americans, frogs are viewed as a symbol of transformation and growth of springtime and renewal. The frog can show us how to live in profound truth by acknowledging our own stages, so we can thereby transform. Frogs go through various stages of metamorphosis. By watching how frogs transform, we can all allow its truth to transform us. The life cycle of a frog consists of 3 stages: the egg, larva, and adult. As the frog grows, it moves through these stages in a process known as metamorphosis. The breeding season for frogs usually occurs during the springtime in temperate climates and during the rainy season in tropical climates. When male frogs are ready to breed, they often use loud croaking calls to attract partners. Males produce these calls by filling a vocal sac with air and moving the air back and forth to create a chirp-like sound. The female frogs lay numerous eggs in masses that tend to clump together in groups known as spawn. As she deposits the eggs in the safety of calm water among vegetation, the male releases sperm onto the eggs and fertilizes them. In many species of frogs, the adults leave the eggs to develop without further care, but in a few species, parents remain with the eggs to look after them as they develop. As the fertilized eggs mature, the yolk in each egg splits into more and more cells and begins to take the form of a tadpole, which is the larva of a frog. Within 1 to 2 weeks, the egg is ready to hatch and a tiny tadpole breaks free. Tadpoles have rudimentary gills, a mouth, and a long tail. For the first 2 weeks after the tadpole hatches, it moves very little. During this time, the tadpole absorbs the remaining yolk left over from the egg, which provides much-needed nourishment to become strong enough to swim on its own. Most tadpoles feed on algae and other vegetation, so they're considered herbivores. They filter material from the air as they swim or tear away bits of plant material. As the tadpole continues to grow, it begins to develop hind limbs. Its body elongates and its diet grows more robust. At approximately 12 weeks, the tadpole's gills and tail have been fully absorbed into the body and it has reached its adult stage of life as a frog. It is now ready to venture out onto dry land, where it will live between the worlds of land and water for 10 to 12 years. Frogs often use rocks, logs, and tree stumps for shelter. These types of locations offer the highest level of protection from both predators and the elements, though they take more energy to get into and out of. Accordingly, these types of shelters often serve as places to hibernate during the winter. For more information about frogs, I recommend the website frogs-friends.org. That's frogs-friends.org. So you can reflect on this information about the frog and see how this might apply to your life and how you might allow yourself to transform, noticing the stages you're in now and the stages that you're moving towards, making sure that you don't stay stuck in any one of the stages. At the end of each of these shows, there will be a bonus section where you have the opportunity to take a pen to paper and journal for yourself. You can join me at the bonus round of each and every show, where I'm going to be bringing up a subject or a topic or something I've seen in my daily life in the past week, something that has sparked something in me that said I needed to write about it. I'll reflect on what that is. We can talk about it a bit. In this example, it's the frog. So as I reflect on the frog, I'm going to be journaling about it and how it relates to my life. You could do the same. I hope that you do. I hope you'll join me in these bonus rounds to write for yourself and discover the own fruits of your labor, of the labor of love of learning about yourself. So here's today's bonus round. As we take this bonus opportunity to write in our own journal about reflections on the frog and our stages, maybe reflections on the frog and how it is that it could be affecting our life in a positive way by using the lessons of the frog, let's take this time to journal. I'm going to journal about that myself, and I will get back to you about what it is that I discover. Okay, y'all. Time's up. Time's up. I hope that you took the last few minutes to write. I believe it's been about 10 minutes that I've been out here. This is what I wrote about the frog and about reflecting on the frog and what I could learn from the frog. I hope that you've learned some things too, because we might not think about the frog every day, but you know what? Today's the day to hop to it. So, I'll share with you what I learned as I reflected internally about the frog, the way that it lives, and the messages that it can share with me as I choose to make changes in my own life. So what can I learn from the frog? That's what I started on the top of my page. What can I learn from the frog? Like the frog, when I stay close to water, I feel better. Sometimes I need a reminder of this. I already know this, but then when I get away from the water for too long, I start to feel bad. And I let that happen to myself. So I'm glad to be back by the water. The frog can also remind me to go on land and return to water and vice versa. Like the frog, I also need to take ample quiet time and avoid harsh, loud environments. I also could hop along towards my goals. You know, sometimes it takes a while to sit and work on one project and then take a nice hop to the next. And I often do that. Slow and steady wins the race, like the turtle, walking one step at a time. But sometimes it takes a while working on one project until we can hop to the next stage of it. But it's a nice recognition there for me about the frog, that just because I don't see movement immediately, that things are still moving. Also, about the frog. Like the frog, I can enjoy the weather. Get out in it. I could be inside writing, but instead I came out because it's beautiful. So I can enjoy the weather and I can seek protection and healing from the forest, which I definitely do. If I can find a little footage, I'm going to sneak that right in here for you to see this morning's walk in the forest. Oh, it's just lovely. And that protection, like the frog, he lives in the forest, and being in a home that's made of wood, or a lot of wood in the inside, can be reassuring to me. So like the male frog, this is where I really found humor in my journaling. Like the male frog who calls out for a mate, I could consider this. Never have done that before, not sure that I will, but it'll be fun to think about. At least it gives me a laugh. So with that said, I learned some things about myself, my situation, the stage in life, by choosing to journal in this book today. There's really no end to it. We can constantly learn and comfort and acknowledge ourselves, our experiences, and what it is we're going through. And I hope you did today too. I hope you joined us for this bonus round. If you couldn't today, I hope you'll join us next time. But until then, I look forward to meeting up with you next Sunday, or meeting up with you on one of the Grow Show tours, whether it's in Tennessee when we take our next hike, or when we're in South Carolina. But until then, make your own bonus round. Write in your journal, and I'll talk to you soon. Well, if you did take this opportunity to write, I say congratulations. Whether it's your first time writing a journal entry, whether it's many times that you've written journal entries, regardless where you are in this process, congratulations, because each time we do it can be transformational. Just like the frog, life has a lot to teach us. It's just a matter of whether we're going to learn. So I ask, will you? Will you learn, and will you grow personally through journaling? I hope you do, and I hope to see you on the next shows, the next 15 that we'll have, and I hope you also join me on the online course that I'm going to be creating about personal growth through journaling. Also, you're welcome to, I would love it if you'd come meet me out in South Carolina, where you can meet me on tour, where we're going to have a live class on personal growth through journaling. It's about inviting peace, passion, and joy into our life through the process of journaling. Meet up with me. We can enjoy beautiful Beaufort by the Bay in South Carolina, and we can spend some time by the ocean. Our class is going to be on Friday at the Pat Conroy Literary Center. I'm so honored to be able to be there. What a great place to be. What a great man to be a part of in his legacy, Pat Conroy, the famous Southern author. Then you can also join me on Sunday, because I'm having a tour out on Hunting Island, my favorite place for an island visit by the ocean in the world. Come join me on Hunting Island, South Carolina on October 30th, and join me for the class at the Pat Conroy Literary Center on October 28th. Wherever we meet up, whether it's there, whether it's here on the Sunday shows, or somewhere in between on tour, I look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, take excellent care of your very fine self, and I send you off always with love. From Angelique.
The key to healing and transformation is to know thyself. One of the best ways to enhance self-awareness is to take pen to paper. Will You, the company that creates tools for inspiration and joy, introduces 11 styles of hardcover journals. These gorgeous 200-page hardcover journals contain light charcoal lines on cream paper. beckoning you to unbridle your mind and write. Knowing your purchase supports environmental charities. Available at willyougrow.com and amazon.com. Join Angelique and the Will You Grow team on tour. Be inspired and empowered by an immersive nature experience and supper in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. A live workshop during beautiful Beaufort, South Carolina's Pat Conroy Literary Festival, and a nature tour of Angelique's favorite place on earth, Hunting Island, South Carolina. Adventure with us every third Tuesday of the month through October in Townsend, Tennessee for a day hike to Abrams Falls, followed by a casual 5-star supper on the patio at the Dancing Bear Appalachian Bistro and Lodge. Adventure with us Friday morning, October 28th in beautiful Beaufort, South Carolina for a writer's workshop presented by Angelique to invite more peace, passion, and joy into your life. This workshop is in partnership with the Pat Conroy Literary Center and its festival, celebrating Pat Conroy, a leading figure of late 20th century Southern literature. Join Angelique and a myriad of authors, celebrities, writers, and New York Times bestsellers as they present workshops to educate and inspire you on your life journey. While in South Carolina, adventure with us on Sunday, October 30th for an immersive nature experience as Angelique leads you to deepen your connection with nature and experience walking the sandy trails of the tropical forest with loblolly pines, deer, herons, and great horned owls. Enjoy all these great adventures and come travel with us on tour. Click the link to Adventure Tours in the description box and book your tickets now to see us there. For more information about programs offered by Will You, mentoring with Angelique, and to watch video success stories from clients, explore willyougrow.com. If you or your company are interested in inspiring our mutual audience by sponsoring this or another of our programs, let's talk about it. Boost viewer confidence and trust in your company. Call 1-833-WILL-YOU, then press extension number 6. Make sure to click the subscribe button to get reminders before upcoming shows.